where your true values are not being supported and upheld. But first you got to get to it. So I'm just very thankful for, having relationships that allow us to grow, because that also is a part of it. So when we're in love, when we're in relationships, those challenges come up. How are you growing? How are you learning from them? How are you really learning more about yourself and not projecting onto that other person? If he was this and he was that. No, sis.
No, if you were. Look.
Come back to you, right?
And
what can you change?
I'm so glad that you said relationships, because this is about relationships in general, all of the relationships around you. And you need those relationships that help support and fortify your growth. You and I were talking about that earlier. You need those friendships, family members that help pull you, push you, get you to that next level, get you out of your comfort zone, remind you who you are. And so now is a time for us to be unapologetic about putting those people in our spaces, making sure those people that are in our spaces that provide them are acknowledged and are welcome to continue to do the pushing, to do the pulling, to do the shifting and the making the way for you. And, I want to challenge a lot of women, because I see a lot of things on social media that sometimes just rub me the wrong way about what we truly value as far as relationships are concerned. The values are placed on some of the wrong things, and are not things that will withstand the test of time. I have a friend who's always like, "Oh, I just cannot date a man who isn't handsome or doesn't look a certain way," and it made me think in my head how limiting that is. If you have to be so stuck on that aspect, you may be missing tons of great opportunities that are coming your way because you're putting value on something of little to no value. Really doesn't have enough value to stand up, because that could be taken away in the blink of an eye.
But the fact that attraction does matter does come in. But you can't be looking for the cream of the crop. But you can look for the cream of the crop, but understand that sometimes the looks can be deceiving. Let me say that. You can't just go by the looks, okay? I would second that. You can't just go by, oh, this man is fine, but he's ugly in the inside.
Mm-hmm. And he's providing you no substance.
Look, I'm looking for a man with a beard. Okay, sis. What if the man that is for you don't got a beard? Is this a no win? He has everything else but the beard. Are you gonna not even give him the time of day? But it's also about just knowing really what it is that are beyond the physical attractions that really you desire, and beginning to really cultivate those core values within yourself first and foremost, because ultimately, like you said, sis, looks can change. You ain't gonna be all so fine for all your life, or maybe you will. Who knows?
We can hope. we can hope,
right? We can hope, but it's that love that surpasses the visual eye. And understanding that love that lasts will surpass the visual eye. But you do want some type of attraction. For me personally, I'm attracted to a man who can hold a good conversation. I can work with you if you can keep me entertained in what is it called? What is it called? A sapiosexual?
Sapiosexual. I definitely feel those vibes, because for me, true attraction comes with the mental stimulation for me. I know other people are a lot different, but true attraction for me comes with mental stimulation. When you hear a man talk and he's speaking with a certain rebuttal, it's like powerful. Do you remember when we were at the Man Heal Thyself Ascension, the year that we ascended, and they did they affirmations? I affirm and confirm. And it was one time. I promise you.
The whole Arena was like, whoa.
It was this one dude, especially because he was heavy set. I remember him being a heavy set guy. He probably was in his mid 40s, and he seemed a little nerdy, right? But he got up there and said, "I am one part neutron, electron, some." I was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute."
Look, you know who you are, huh?
Because when you know who you are, you speak in that language. I was like, who's? I mean, he wasn't to the visual eye and to societal standards. He may have not been many women's cup of tea, but I promise you, by the end of that man speaking, every woman was like, "Whoa!" He didn't took our breath away.
Like, who are you?
And so I think life works like that. We have to leave ourselves open for the possibility of something shaking us to our core and allowing us to see value in things beyond the mundane, things beyond the norm of what we're used to. And I feel like a lot of women are missing out on love because they've allowed society to diminish what love should look like in our community. Oh, this is the sign that a man is capable of loving you. I remember I had a friend and her husband didn't work at the time, and they've since divorced, but he didn't work at the time, but they had 5 kids. He stayed home with the kids. He made sure they ate. He did like all the Mr. Mom things. And people in the family and the community around her would diminish him so much. And I remember telling her, you need to speak up for him, and you need to speak up for that because he is providing help, support. And she was the type of woman who didn't really want to stay at home with the kids all day. No way. So it was a perfect balance for them. But outside influences got into the mental space of both of them. Him demeaning him, making him feel less than. So now he's checking out. Her feeling like she's supporting him, so now she's checking out, and ultimately they got a divorce. But it was so sad to me because it was working for them. But they allowed what society says as how a man or a woman is supposed to show up or how love is supposed to look within a relationship to place value or devalue what they both were bringing to that relationship. And so this is where I love these conversations when we're especially talking about values, because it's time for us to start to understand that our values are based on us. We put the amount on what means more,
right?
What makes more sense, especially according to our lives. And it can't be dictated by society at large.
No, and this is why us as women, this is what we're talking about. We're bringing these things to the surface so that we each can really take time to ponder that. Like, what is it that you truly value in life and love? You know, love is also a value, you know, love in and of itself. But is that love demonstrated in what way, right? How does that really make a difference to you as you show up, you know, beyond the what society says? Because we are a part of society, but we all get to live it in society in our own unique ways. So I want to encourage us that as we are going through these ebbs and flows of being madly in love with ourselves, that we take time to look at the values, look at what love means. Because ultimately, as Tina Turner said, what's love got to do with it, right? What does love got to do with it? Because at the end of the day, love can look multiple ways, right? It can look like, as someone said, worldly love and agape love. Which love is it? And then you got romantic love, and then you got brotherly love or sisterly love. I mean, love is broken up in all kinds of ways. And it first starts with you. It first starts with you.
Self-love is the foundational love. And, you know, that's one of the things that I love, about the spiritual work and the spiritual journey, because it really invites you to look at yourself on a whole nother level and to love another aspect of yourself. And so even when I'm going through the challenging times, like now, where I'm trying to pull myself out of this rut that I seem to have found myself in, and I'm trying to, and I don't even want to say it's a rut. What I'm going through, honestly, in every sense of the word, is an ascension. I'm feeling an ascension happening.
What is that called? You're in the
cocoon.
Not the cocoon, the
chrysalis.
Chrysalis, yes, in the chrysalis stage.
Exactly.
Where it's like, I don't even know what I look like right now.
And so that's really what it is, because I'm like, I don't even know what this next version of me gonna look like. Like, something is happening, some things are breaking down inside this cocoon that I built around myself, within my community, and within all of the support that I have for all of you. Thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in. And something is happening, in this transformation that I'm undergoing is really inviting me to really understand that the forefront of everything that I do in life starts with me. Starts with how I show up for me. So it starts with how I value me. And if I'm saying that consistency is one of the things that I value in love and in a life partner, then I'm my first life partner. I have to be consistent. If I'm saying that loyalty is something that I love and value in a life partner, then I have to be loyal to me. That means being loyal to me means that even though my heart want to serve in certain spaces, I might have to step back and step away because it's not serving me. I'm not being loyal to me by going back on what I need to be doing for me. And that is it's such a beautiful place. Like, honestly, I'm finding myself these days have been, kind of challenging, just confronting where I am. And I know that there's some other sisters that's out there like me that's like, oh, I feel so bad. Like, I was doing so good with my business, was doing so good at work. I was doing so good with the kids. I was doing so good at church. I was doing so good in each and every different place. And then now you're at a spot where it feels like, oh, what's going on? That's because it's time for you. It's time for you to care for you. It's time for you to take care of you. It's time for you to love on you. And that is okay. That is
and we have a comment. We have a comment in the comments from our beautiful sister Sandra Sierra, girl, Sunshine. I don't want to butcher your name, honey. But she says, unfortunately, most do not know what love is. So I would say to first find out what love is and what does love mean to you personally. That's where she says
That's a great.
And then she said,
I'm so glad that you said that.
She said, because we have different love languages, and love is a whole concept. All of its own. What's your love language? What's your partner's love language? What's your love language for your friends? And so on and so forth. And she said, love is a frequency of 528 hertz. We're going to ring that in. Come on. Got love and you need to be recharged, listen to your 528 hertz music. That is a perfect way to realign the heart chakra and to realign your frequency to love so that you can begin to love on yourself. Another thing that I would like to add in this space is definitely do your assignments. It's not too late to join. Day one was writing the love letter to yourself. I know sis says she wrote her love letter and sent it in the mail because she wants that love to circulate in the atmosphere and then come back. And then do your 2-minute mirror work, looking at yourself, affirming, seeing what's there, seeing what feelings come up, seeing what happens. I was very thankful that when I looked, I was like going in, you this, you that, in a high vibration. But those of y'all who know me, I stay there. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I am in that low vibration or that lower level of really,
Mm-hmm.
what am I really doing? Because sometimes I'm there too, just as often. But it's just like learning to balance. And then now coming into our values. What is the values, the 5 main values that you embody, you would like to embody when it comes to love and life? And it's not only in romantic relationships, but how do you show up in loving yourself? How does that look? And how do you want it to look? How do you want it to be reflected back to you? Because that's what you need to work on. So sis says she's going to work on consistency. I'm going to work on acceptance, because for so long it's been very difficult for me to accept myself. I've been hiding. I've been hiding because I don't want to seem crazy, cray, you know, because a lot of people in my world may not understand, but I'm so thankful for, you know, this platform and my sisters, and understanding that I get to navigate the extremes. You know, I get to navigate this spiritual world and also the practical world. And I am learning to accept the things I cannot change. And that's just being me. That's just being real. So I'm super duper duper thankful for that. I'm thankful for each and every one of y'all who showed up and who